the wedding of Miss International Executive Rebecca Brooks. The ceremony took place by a lake at a countryside. As two next TV presenter Pierce Morgan told the Daily Mail there was about 3 years ago, the president was closer to Jackson than becoming on back the slope, where the brown then Prime Minister arrived late with all eyes turning to him as he walked down to the lake. At the reception, I had a brief conversation with Mr. Cameron. I said I hoped he would not win the common leadership, but that fair did, and if he won, I was supporting. For some time, journalists in me had known that the relationship between colleagues and the media was not serving the public. But it was my first-hand experience of this developing culture of use and negativity that convinced me of press and 24-hour news were making more difficult for the leader to govern. It's got worse, hasn't it? He said. I replied that he would be a much stronger minister were he to take office not giving aid or anything to the leaders. At that point, Mr. Murdoch joined us, and we changed the subject. Perhaps we should not have done so, but that we did, however, was to raise something of the dishonesty at the heart of essentially political and commercial relationship. It is not easy to do what Ed Miliband, Labour leader, did last week, make himself an enemy of some of the media's most powerful forces. He was right that Labour got too close to Miss International, but he was also right that, given the media bias against it, he knew why we tried to level the playing field. In my own defense, and as my diet showed, argued for some years, returned that we needed to act on the culture of our media. At one point, he threw me off, asking that I not my views so obvious in front of Mr. Murdoch, Mr. James and Lexington, then Chief Executive of News International, and then Chief Executive of News International. Ultimately, Mr. Blair thought the press had become a problem, but that trend now has been sprung. Mr. Blair thought the press had become a problem, but that given our other priority, people would not understand our taking them on. We also thought it would look like revenge for the fact they had turned against it. And there were political consideration too. Trying to govern and win election is hard enough without the press being against you. Except that for all of us, at times media support was something we courted at the expense of positions of principle on media issues, but that truth has now been sprung. The latest revelation have forced the police, News International, and the government to act. The police will now be more vigorous. News International will continue with their kamikaze crisis management, which one day will be studied as a textbook case of how not to do it. But the most important developments are the Prime Minister's inquiries into press practices and a new system of regulation. These mean we now have once in a generation opportunity for new settlement between politics, the media, and the public. Nobody can argue that we have the press we deserve. Pressure by technological change, a dominant strain of Britain's media has gone into a spiral of decline, in which the scandal is the most dramatic development. Mr. Cameron did not look comfortable amongst the reviews. He has personal relationship at stake, and given he hired Andy Curtin as his communication director, his judgment too. Already the backlash from part of British press has begun and seek to maintain that anything but toothless regulation is an assault on a free press. Anything but toothless is an assault on a free press. But Mr. Cameron must stand back from all that and ask himself what is the right thing to do. He did some of it last Friday. This summer will last Friday. The judicial inquiry should be far-reaching. The news of the war is far from alone the usual dubious and legal practices, as widely ignored report from the Information Commission have shown. Part of press media reminds me of the trade union before Mrs. Thatcher. They feel untouchable. As I say above, Labour could and should have done more to deal with the fear abyss. But just as the MP's expenses scandal emerged from the failure of Mrs. Thatcher's government to tackle MP salaries, with the system by which he showered honours on editors and owners, a practice to which he put an end with a rule that no serving editor could be honoured, means she too has something to answer for. Whatever the past, it is Miss Cameron who must have led the country to a better place. Mr. Miliband has shown himself capable of playing a good and principled part, and so should the public. Ultimately, it could only improve if the public wanted to. If they channel the anger at recent event into an assessment of what kind of paper they read, whether they really want to live on a diet of celebrity, trivia, negativity, and abuse to coin a phrase, we are all in this together.